Okay, so to the new players, what is this series, Boots? What's going on?
I'm not gonna. I don't have to go into that. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of intro for this.
Great. All right, do you want to redo the intro?
Yes, I do. Hey, man, how you doing today? Totally
wow, that's
natural.
So much better. We didn't just struggle making an intro for ages, and you came at me with that accent now. Jesus.
This is the 4th time restarting this, but that's okay. So wooden potatoes. What are you doing
Hello,
here today?
Boots.
Hello.
It's Boots Builds. I'm feeling good to come back. It's been a while since we did an episode.
It's been quite a while, yeah. We just watched the England versus Tunisia World Cup just to set
We
the scene
legitimately
here.
did, and what's kind of exciting. How long is it going to take to put this video up? Because they might know the results of more group stage stuff by the time it goes out.
Well, if it's anything like the new player guide I've been working on for the last 2 weeks, it might be a while.
Ooh, I didn't know you'd been working on it. I guess that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that's
cool,
taken
dude.
a while. It's probably not going to be very good. Anyway, continuing on. This is Boots Bad Build, this time Mirage, and as everybody...
Awesome! So Mirage, just to be clear, is one of the new POF specs, and we've been waiting a long time to see. Ever since POF came out, you haven't given us a Mirage.
Yeah, and there's also Spellbreaker left to go. But Mirage first, because I was able to find something I like in it, and as everybody knows already, Mirage is somewhat strong
absolutely
of a elite spec, and because of that, I found it very hard to make a Boots Bad build about it.
So, are you telling me that when you make a Boots Bad build, you do deliberately try to make it bad, and the devs have just designed such a perfect elite specialization, it is impossible to do that?
Yeah. Like, for instance, this Boots Bad build that I made this time around took me a while to make it. It was kind of fun to put together. And then when I looked at Meta Battle afterwards, there is a build there that's rated 100 or something that's somewhat similar to this. And
wow, okay, yeah. I think I seem to remember you saying that to me about a week ago, that you'd made a Mirage, but you were scared it was too close to meta.
Yeah, but the good news is the parts about this build that are the Boots Bad build are not featured at all in the one.
Okay, all right. So lay it on me first. What game type is it for?
Well, I've been using it in World vs. World. I've been using it as just roaming. I've been using it in PvP pretty well, actually. It works very well in PvP. And PvE, if you just want to be extremely strong, and it doesn't kill things ridiculously fast, so it's not like a perfect PvE build, but it's quite good.
Okay,
so really,
right.
it's a all-around build. All-around build.
Okay.
Yeah. So what in your mind makes a good Mirage?
All right. Well, what excited me about Mirage way back when everything was coming out was Infinite Horizon. That, like, flavor-wise, that Grandmaster was the one I was most keen on.
Yeah,
and the idea of all the Mirage design that's around hiding as a clone in plain sight. That's what I really thought. I mean, I kind of hate playing against that style of stuff, but that's what I thought was most fun. Like, probably my most favorite Mirage design in the game is the Sword Ambush, because, like, it just, and purely in terms of flavor, if you think about the way that the Sword Ambush works, it's like the reverse of the Sword 3, which everyone's known from the start of the game. Now you're the thing that leaps forward while the clone stays on. I like that kind of stuff. Was my favorite about Mirage.
So I would say that I would agree wholeheartedly. Those are the two things that I love about Mirage. And in fact, when I started making a Mirage bad build, I, like, for a long time was hung up on just, instead of making necessarily a build, it was going to be a mode of play, a modus operandi, where you become the clone and try to be exactly like all of your clone friends so that nobody can see what you are. But that doesn't go very far, because good players could easily suss out which one's the right one very quickly.
And for mobs in PvE, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
still
matter
satisfying anyway.
Exactly. So I was having fun playing around like that, and it was confusing a lot of not so fantastic players, but I mean, it's not a Boots Bad build. The
truth is, Mesmer is in a place where it will just do that anyway. Like, you don't need any intelligence or skill at the game. Just spam your buttons and you'll confuse new players. That's the truth behind Mesmer.
Yeah. And when you're fighting a good player, they won't be confused, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah. Well, they will a little bit, but it'll be more just like frustration of clicking the right goddamn thing.
So instead, I actually used those two things you were just talking about. But I went somewhere else with it, and I would like to answer the question I asked you earlier of what makes a really good Mirage.
Okay.
And the answer is a Weaver.
Oh. So wait, is this a synergy we've discussed before?
Possibly?
Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking of Tempest.
Oh,
a Weaver
okay.
makes a good Mirage. Okay, you've got my ear. I'm not quite sure where you're going with this right now.
This build is, well, first of all, you can see I have like elemental weapon right here. I've got some more elementals over here. So I'm like a Weaver.
Yeah.
I'm a Weaver in disguise is what's going on. But you'll notice I also have another disguise going on. I don't know. It's a little animalistic maybe. I don't have all of the, like, it's really hard to make this. What I'm going for is, this is a Weaver Lemur build.
A Weaver, so you want to look like a monkey. You want to look like a lemur.
I am a lemur.
That is a Weaver. So you're role-playing a lemur as your race, and you're like a Guild Wars 1 style multi-profession ME/E.
That's right. That's exactly.
Okay, brilliant.
That's what I am.
That makes perfect sense.
Have you ever seen that old children's TV show Zaboomafoo?
No, I've never even heard those syllables in that order before in my life.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're disappointed now.
I'm
Listen,
so disappointed.
someone in the comments
it's
is
definitely
like,
North American. I'm pretty sure it's like PBS or something like that. But
okay, we don't really have PBS here, so.
But it's all about, it's like an animal show, and the main character in it is a lemur called Zaboomafoo, and.
Okay. Where is this going? How is this a Boots Bad build? What do you mean? You like it? You found an old show. You decided to.
Yeah, exactly. That? And his catchphrase is leap, 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 leap.
Oh, hold on. So it's a build all about Mirage Thrust.
It's all about this one, yes, Mirage Thrust.
Yeah. So it's a mobility-oriented build.
Not so much. It's a mobility-oriented build, but it's mostly a leap-oriented build.
Okay, all right. I kind of like the idea of this. This sounds all right.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound too close to meta right now for Conquest, except that Sword is just obscenely mobile, so people take it and use it to move around a lot.
Sword is fantastic. But let's get into the build.
Okay, all right. I'm still pretty hazy on what you're going with this, so you'll have to ease me in gently. Now, what are our 3 specializations?
Well, I think we should start very quickly with the rune choice.
Oh, okay.
So
we usually do runes last. So
I know,
is
but
this like a big synergy?
It's the most important thing.
Oh! Is it Weaver runes?
What are you? Of course, it's Weaver runes. We've talked about this.
So you get benefits on leap finishes.
That's right. So runes of the Weaver plus something 36, 40, 36 to all stats, plus 15% condition damage duration, and gain a barrier when you execute a leap combo finisher.
Is that barrier really that good?
It is not so bad. It's not so good if you don't have any healing power, but it's not bad with some healing power.
But with healing power, it's good. Okay, I'll take your word for it. All right, okay.
Yeah. So what do we do now?
So Mirage with barrier. That's kind of an exciting build.
Exactly. So so let's go through the Mirage skills real quick then.
Okay.
Traits. Is what I was trying to say.
All right. So starting with the Grandmaster, we already know you're going with Infinite Horizon.
Yes. So Infinite Horizon. When you gain a Mirage Cloak, your illusions gain it too.
Which in turn means that they will use ambush abilities.
That's right.
So if you make a ton of sword clones, they're going to be leaping all over the place.
They're going to be leaping all over the place. They're going to be leaping at your target with you, and doing leap finisher combos. But I
suppose we should tell them what Mirage Thrust does as well, right? Because it's got a daze on there, which is really important for some builds.
Which is very strong. Ambush, lunge at your foe and strike them with your sword, blah blah blah, briefly dazing them. So it does a little bit of damage. It's a leap finisher, 600 range. It's very good for mobility, but it dazes them for 4 seconds, so it's an interrupt. And when you have a lot of clones doing the exact same thing because of Infinite Horizon, it takes out stability really quickly. So you have like 4 daze finishers all in a row. Can
I just jump ahead as well and ask you if you're running any, because Mesmer's got a ton of interrupt synergies like Inflict Confusion or Power Block. Are you running any of that stuff?
I'm running some of it, but not all of it.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know for the future. So we're expecting all these clones to be getting the benefit of those as well, then. Yeah?
Yes, but one thing your clones will be getting the benefit because of Infinite Horizon. If you're doing a leap combo finisher inside of a field, such as ethereal fields, which Mesmers have a lot of, they all get Chaos Armor.
Wow. Wait. Do they get barrier as well from the Rune?
They do not get barrier as well.
I thought that was going that way there. I was like, what? Tanky clones?
That would have been nice, but not so useful because, I mean, yeah, you get a barrier. It's not the biggest barrier in the world, so like they take maybe a half an extra hit.
But I mean, if you stop a clone from dying in 2 hits to now taking 6 hits, that's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. You're right, but the jumping through the chaos fields, getting the chaos armor on your clones is very important because if people are doing AoE attacks to kill all your clones, which they will definitely be trying to do when they're against you, they hit your clones when they have chaos armor, so they take the chaos armor conditions.
And can't Chaos Armor give the clone retail, which then means that they get hit with retail?
No, they get protection, regen, and swiftness.
Oh, okay, retail's not on there.
Yeah,
okay.
But protection, I mean,
cool,
that's another way that they take less damage, so that's something. And regeneration. So maybe they take 2 hits to die, and that means that the person attacking all 4 of your clones takes 8 conditions.
I like this. This is cool. I bet you're hating that Mesmer doesn't have a version of powerful synergy from the warrior. Imagine if you could run that as well.
Yeah. I won't lie. I did try Weaver runes with a warrior with powerful synergy. That, of course, doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's just the Grandmaster.
Yep.
What else have we got?
Next, we have Desert Distortion.
Oh, hold on. I know this is slightly out of order. What's your other weapon, though? Is it sword on both swaps?
Nope, I got staff.
So you're also getting lots of the staff ambushes, which is lots of Condi pressure, reliant on projectiles, but still cool.
Yeah,
right.
but also, more importantly, it has that sweet Etheria field, and Chaos Armor on itself, and another leap. Yeah.
So, I mean, staff's amazing. It's got loads of utility. I was speaking just about Infinite Horizon, though, where you'd get other value.
Right, no, yeah. So, you got your Speed Ascend, you get Super Speed when you do Mirage Cloak, but then you got Desert Distortion as your master, which is Illusion Shattered by Distortion become Mirage Mirrors, and Ambush skills become available for a short time whenever you grant yourself Distortion. So, that's just basically good for the build. It's hard to like say anything else besides that. It's you get Distortion if you have a lot of guys that you sacrifice at the same time. You could then like run around to your Mirage Mirrors and then recreate all your clones with your sword, because every time you touch a Mirage Mirror, you get to leap again, which creates a new clone.
Yeah.
Just a very strong thing with the sword. I
like that a lot. It's also really great for disengaging on a sword. I've spent a long time playing Sword Mirage in PvP, and one thing that's really cool is if you want to disengage, pressing F4 now will let you ambush out, so you invuln flee like really quick, and so you know, you can just chain them together like that. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then finally, as the adept, you have Renewing Oasis.
Okay, regeneration when you get Mirage Cloak, and the duration of incoming Condis is reduced.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I still don't know whether we're power or Condi yet. We've got this far, and we don't know.
That is actually something to talk about later on.
Okay.
Okay, but so Renewing Oasis, 20% Condi duration reduction, regen basically all the time, probably 90% uptime or something like that. And yeah, so it's very good. And the thing about it though is now since you're having those barriers and you have regen, you start to become a lot tankier now, because you have a ticking regen all the time and barriers making sure you don't take incoming damage, and of course you're doing your evades at the same time. So already just with this you've started to become very tanky. Yeah. So now we're going to the line that kind of ties a little bit more together, and that is Chaos.
Alright. I had a feeling Chaos was going to be coming up here.
Yeah. So, with Chaos, we'll start with the Adept, which is Descent into Madness.
Right, so this one's really cool. This is the one most players will think, oh, that's the full damage trait, where it creates a Chaos Storm when you fall. You might even think about the bug where it was broken for a while. But remember, a few patches ago, they had these trigger on your heal skills as well. So whenever Boots heals, he gets a Chaos Storm.
Yeah, it's on a 35-second cooldown, so it's every 2 heals.
I don't know what heal you're using, so...
Yeah, so you get Lesser Chaos Storm, and that's another Ethereal field to do all your leap combo finishers in, and also it's just a very strong field.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it spams Aegis, guys. It's really, really... That plus Staff alone is, like, so good. And that's where the retail is that I was thinking of, by the way.
Yeah.
It comes on that. Yeah.
And then next, you have Chaotic Dampening.
Okay. Chaos Armor grants protection when you grant it to yourself, and your Staff and Trident skills gain reduced recharge. In PvP, isn't that still only while under the effects of the Chaos Armor they get the reduced recharge? It's like a weird one.
Maybe, but the point is that you have basically 100% uptime of Chaos Armor, 100% uptime of protection from this.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, always the reduced duration.
Yeah. And well, the prize is the real prize, right?
Yeah, you will have 100% protection uptime with this build.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I love chaotic dampening. I love chaos.
Yeah. And then outgoing boon duration and condition duration is increased, which is nice with every boon on you. You're gonna have a lot of boons on you. And finally, for the last one, I mean, you could make two choice, but I went with chaotic interruption.
Okay, I'll do my why it's bad later.
I know that Bountiful Disillusionment is fantastic.
Yeah.
But...
it's not just fantastic, it's non-negotiable, Boots. It's non-negotiable.
No, it's negotiable.
But then it becomes meta, so we have to do something different.
Oh,
sword
boy.
ambushes do interrupt.
Boy. Anyway.
So chaotic interruption, when you interrupt a foe, you immobilize them and get might, then another random boon, and you inflict a random Condi.
That's right. And with that sword and with your staff ethereal fields, and of course with your diversion, you're going to be interrupting people a lot with this build. So you're going to be...
Here's my question. It's got an interval of one... You can only proc this once every 3 seconds. But does each clone have its own individual interval, thus allowing you... Because they're all going to illusionary ambush, right? So do they all get to trigger their own immo?
I think it's all... The interval, the 3 second interval, I think is only for enemies with Defiance bars.
What do you mean?
It says this trait can only activate on enemies with Defiance bars once per interval.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
they don't want people blowing through break bars. Yeah. Right, so I guess then it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right, because I very rarely play with this trait, but I do remember probably when it came out using it and with like staggering your F3 and then you get just like 25 might straight away kind of thing. I do remember that. And that wouldn't work if there was an interval. So maybe you're right, yeah.
I think I'm right, yeah. Anyway, so there you go.
Patched or something.
So that is the combo here, but this means you will have to be running a couple of fields in your utility slots.
Okay.
So you will be running Null Field, which is a nice ethereal field that...
Wait, sorry, I don't follow. Why do we have to have fields in our things?
Because you have to continuously be leaping through them. Of course, this is a
Lemur
themed build.
I see. Okay, all right, yeah, I remember. It's all about that synergy, right? So, what did you say? Null Field? I like Null Field.
Null Field's pretty good. So it removes conditions from you and your friends, and removes boons from your enemies.
Yeah, 5 is very good.
Yeah, and it's a ethereal field, so you could easily always have one ethereal field down at any given time with this build. So that's quite nice. You could always be leaping through them. And then feedback, which is a nice 6-second projectile reflector.
Yeah, and that puts confusion out because it will combo with itself whenever you get the reflect.
That's right. Very good stuff. And I use Jaunt as my elite.
Yep.
Because that is another leap that is also very strong.
I was expecting a time warp there just because Ethereal Field.
No, that's too long of a cooldown. But no, Jaunt...
What? This is insane, though. But the compromises you've made for the other ones...
No, these are not compromises. These work very well.
They're insane compromises. I mean,
very
PvE,
good. They're very good in any situation.
Okay,
and so Jaunt is fantastic. You have to take it. And Mirage mirrors the heal because it's just a really, really powerful heal skill.
The False Oasis, yeah.
False Oasis, sorry. And as your final utility skill, you can take whatever you want. I have been using Signet of Midnight just because I'm using a Condi build, and it helps a lot with that, and it's a nice stun break. But there's a lot of things you could take instead. Like if you're doing PvP and you're afraid of Condis because there's 2 Scourges on the other side, you could take the Condi mantra, which is actually really strong. I've been using it. It is very strong. You could take Portal because it's just so good. you can take anything. Yeah, yeah. But you've noticed that I've only gone through 2 trait lines.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the last one. I'm guessing, can I to preempt you,
Yeah.
if you decide power, you go one. If you decide Condi, you go a different one. Is that what we're about to learn?
Pretty much, yeah. If you go power, I haven't actually nailed down a power that I like. Condi, you could actually use one of 2 different ones. You could either use illusions or you could use dueling.
Okay.
With illusions, you would go the pledge for burning on your torch. You would go main the disillusion for torment on your shatter, and you would go master fragmentation for a lot of bonuses on all your shatter skills. And the reason why illusions is really strong, these traits are okay, the ones I just named, they're okay, but the real one that's really important for this build is the cry of pain, which
the minor, the regional minor that goes to ammo. Yeah.
Exactly. So this might be nerfed at some point, I'm guessing. Instead of 2 additional stacks, it might go down to 1 additional stack or something like that. But right now it's very, very strong. So instead of 1 stack of confusion per clone that shatters on your opponent, it's 3 stacks of confusion, and the duration is increased. So just with this, even without all the other traits you put with it, just with that minor, this trait line is worth it, because you could easily burst people down with it.
The other thing, guys, is that one, the pledge that Boots is running. The devs have turbocharged torch off no more than any other weapon in all of Guild Wars 2. A core weapon does something do so much. Mesmer torch. Oh, I'm guessing you're running a torch, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
That. It's insane. It's like what you'd expect from an elite specialization weapon, and then some. It does so much. So when you can take a trait that not only drops the cooldowns but also increases the efficacy by stacking even more Condi on it. Like, it's obscene. It's really crazy.
It is. It's really good. So obviously with this build,
like, compare that to like sword off hand on a warrior or something. It's just nuts. Sorry, anyway, go ahead.
No, it's fine. With this setup, because of its illusions, you are able to do that Condi burst with your you start you start off invisible, you charge your 5 skill, teleport onto them, burst them with 10 stacks of burning, and destroy them.
You just use the torch skills and jaunt on them. That's it. Then they're dead. It's
torch skills, jaunt on them, and then
else.
do cry of frustration, and they have 15 stacks of confusion and 10 stacks of burning, which is not fun.
Yeah, it's from stealth. It's cool. Don't worry, guys. Mesmer are not ArenaNet's favorite child. It's not. I swear.
It's not. So,
okay,
but anyway, but this is why I like this build as opposed to like a meta build. It's because the base of it, the Mirage and the Chaos and the Leaping, is not scary enough for it to be the prime target of nerfing from ArenaNet in the next few days.
I'm sorry, rephrase that? What do you mean?
I mean, like, I feel like they're going to target probably illusions more than other things. And maybe they're going to target some innate Mirage stuff, like how they dodge. But they are going to target Mesmer, I think, in the next balance patch.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are right. Chaotic Interruption is going to be safe. Infinite Horizon is going to be safe.
Chaotic Dampening is going to be safe.
Not. Renewing Oasis might be safe as well.
Yeah. So
all right. So that was one of your Condi variants. What's your other Condi variant?
The other one is Dueling.
Okay.
And with Dueling, you would go Ineptitude as your Grandmaster.
Right.
You would go Blinding Dissipation as your Master.
Yeah.
And you would go probably. Actually, you could go 1 or 2. You could go Decoy, which is very nice. Desperate Decoy. But also, even though Torch is fantastic, you can technically use a pistol instead of a torch and go Duelist Discipline, and that combos with your fields. You'll be doing confusion on all your pistol attacks because of it.
Yeah. Well, the dueling version is almost, I mean, you're quite close to what Condi Mirage was in PvP for like season 8 and 9.
Yeah.
It was all about the sword, because the other thing is on this variant you can run, instead of renewing Oasis, Riddle of Sand down below. So your ambush hits double confuse, and then you shatter, you get the Riddle of Sand back, and you ambush again, especially if you use the F4. And that, plus the Ineptitude combo, was crazy confusion stacks on what is otherwise quite a power-oriented weapon, the sword main hand.
Yeah.
So that honestly, I have hundreds of games on that exact setup with Riddle of Sand. People don't favor that as much as some of the Axe versions now and the Axe Torch combos.
Yeah, and frankly, I do prefer the Illusions version, and I prefer using Infinite Horizon because the leaps. It's just the leaps. I love the leaps.
Yeah, I think that it's cool. What makes this a fun Boots Bad build is doubling in on the leap idea. Tell me about the power version, Boots. I'm guessing Domination. Are we looking at Power Block?
Yeah, you can do Domination with Power Block. You get your interrupts from your sword and also your staff as well, and you do extra damage every time you do that. And the cooldown is increased to 15 seconds, which is fantastic. Now, so you could be, instead of running in PvP with the Condi version, you'd be running Sage's Amulet to get a little bit extra healing power for your leaps, for your things.
Barrier.
For the barrier, exactly. For this, I would run Menders. That's even more healing power for even higher barriers. It goes up to around 900 and something in that case.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can still do a decent amount of damage with it. But honestly, I do prefer the Condi version because the build itself, with all the leaps, with all the barrier, with all the healing, is very, very tanky, and Condi just works better with tanking builds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just got like that sustain on it, but it's like all the active mitigation as well, like being able to kite away with the cells and the mobility, like. The mobility, really, I hope people understand just how mobile this thing is. You put a Mirage on a sword, you give it Jaunt as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
The last thing I was toying around with a Mender's Amulet again is taking Inspiration, just because you get a ton of healing from your Restorative Illusions as the Master. And you could run, like, you won't be doing much damage at all, but it will be a ridiculously tanky build.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, it's how you want to play. The leap combo is just these two things, and then you could. I've just told you could use any of the other 4 trait lines after that.
Yeah,
and that's it. So in PvE, I've been running Apothecary with the Condi version with Illusions.
Oh, I do like Apothecary builds. Yeah, so that gives you a Condi stack and the healing power on top.
Yeah, and very strong healing power. So you have like around 1,000 barriers on every leap. And just basically you have your full regeneration, so you have 300 ticks per second. You're basically it's like you have a healing signet on as a warrior. You're dodging all the time. You're healing up all the time. If you go down to half, you use false oasis and heal up to full.
Yeah.
Super tanky and actually does quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cool. One thing I will say to everyone who just listened to what Boots said there, like, you really should sit up and pay attention to builds like that, because I found very much when I go to POF areas at the moment, I really am it doesn't matter for core and whatever, and I'm not even Heart of Thorns too much, but there's a lot of stuff where you're outnumbered by a lot of Awakened in the desert and you're on your own. There's a real need to find a good PvE build needs that like sustain and sturdiness while still being able to poo out a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And it really, since the most recent expansion, it is a thing that you should definitely look at. So I hope that that's a way that Mirage can genuinely build that, right? By relying on those barriers and things.
Exactly. This is something that this could do very easily, and I mean, I'll probably have some videos of it, but you could like easily sustain against 3 Hydras, veteran Hydras, if you want to. It's just it's strong. It's good. I've gone into fully upgraded camps in World vs. World and killed them all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, fully upgraded, actually. Yeah, that's more pressure than I think most people realize.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
What about anything interesting to say for sigils? That's something we haven't done. Foods?
Oh, sigils and foods. Good point. So sigils, I've been running, obviously, energy on each of my weapons.
Okay.
In PvP, that's 25% endurance when you swap to it. In PvE and World vs. World, it's 50%, which is really strong. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, so again, just so that everyone understands, a dodge roll, if you as a Mirage can give yourself a dodge roll, what that means is potentially 4 friggin' leaps, 4 daisies, all this different Condi application stuff. The value of a Sigil of Energy on many Mirage builds, but especially Infinite Horizon ones versus other classes is mental. So if you'd said anything other than energy there, it would have been like a real question mark, because it is just so valuable, guys. Because you can use that stuff as an offensive resource now. Endurance is an offensive resource for you if you want to.
Yeah. And as your second sigil on each weapon in PvP, I was using Sigil of Cleansing, just because I like to get rid of Condis. In PvE, you could do, or World vs. World, you could do a lot of things. World vs. World, maybe you want to do Sigil of Draining. So every time you interrupt, you gain health and drain life from them.
Yeah, and they're really strong as well, if I remember rightly.
They're very strong.
They've been changed.
I don't think they have been changed. I think they're the same,
I used to run Condi Chrono with training to resustain on the F3s. That was nuts. In World vs. World, those. Yeah,
just even more sustain. It's crazy. You could run Doom. You could, if you're running the Duelist version, that every time you blind someone, you get 2 stacks of confusion. You could use Sigils of Mischief, which launch blinding snowballs at people when you swap weapons.
Yeah, Ineptitude Mischief combo. I like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of options. So it's really up to you. And just like I said, one of your utility skills, there's a lot of options as well. So there is some like leeway in this build that you could go around. And also, if you feel like you don't need all 4 ways of getting fields, the 2 utility skills, your staff, and then your heal, you could drop one of the utility skills fields if you feel like you've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, food. I've been using, especially with the apothecary gear, I've been using Bountiful Tuning Crystal as the.
What does that do? I'm not familiar with them since they overhauled them, really.
That one is gain condition damage equal to 6% of your healing power and 8% of your concentration. So it's basically just find the tuning crystal that's best for you, that gives you the most condition damage.
Okay.
Depending on your build, obviously, if you're doing power, you don't want that. And for food, I've been splitting between koi cakes just for some more damage. I've also been using the bowls of Orion truffle and meat stew for 40% endurance regeneration and might on dodge.
There it is. It's got to be those.
However, there's one more option, which is actually plays really nicely into the whole leaping idea and the jumping idea, is holographic super cakes.
Can you ping that to me? These are new SAB ones, aren't they? From this year.
So they're on theme, because in SAB you jump around a lot. Here, hold on.
So, is that it? But what do they do?
Yeah, give me that. There you go.
Oh, okay, here we go. So, gain health every... Oh... Yeah, I thought that you had me excited there. I thought it was not that exciting. Steal health whenever you enact a leap finisher or something.
Oh, that would have been great. No. But it is, you get 30% endurance regeneration. So
that's a flavor choice right there.
Yeah, this is a flavor choice. It's not quite as strong as the Orion truffles. But it's still pretty good. You know, you get your 30% endurance regeneration instead of 40, and you regenerate around 90 health every second, or 85 or something like that. Okay. So that with your regeneration is a full-on signet of healing.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, 400 every second. Not bad.
All right. Well, are you ready then for the section that you dread every time? No,
I'm not ready. Don't tell me.
Okay, so why it's bad. I know that you're actually going to hate what I say here. You really are, because you already know this.
I know. You're going to say it's too close to meta.
No, I'm not. Well, sort of. What I'm going to say is there's just arbitrary changes here that you've made that are just worse than the meta version.
That's what I've... Yeah.
Well, that's literally it. It's like, so if we are
What makes you say they're worse?
If we are PvP-minded...
They're better.
PvP-minded... Portal is non-negotiable, particularly not for feedback.
Okay, so put in Portal. Easy peasy. Done.
Nullfield is non-negotiable, particularly for Blink. I'm sorry, you have Blink and you have Portal on there.
You don't need
You can maybe get away with not having one of them, but what I'd like to make the point of is if you run both of those, you have such a solid, extremely capable spec that can do like everything. You can sustain a reasonable while to get a +1, you can be a +1, you can port your team around, you can be, especially if you put it on a map like Kylo, like it's just obscene, like it's totally broken. So you have those utilities, you just don't take them off. I think the Signet of Midnight's okay, but you know that's already meta. People kind of already
I know, but the two fields are not meta. So
for a little thing that I think you would like, though, Boots, to this weird version with the leaps, to not rob you of that. One thing I did love playing with when I was on a sword Mirage just like this, even the Condi version, Illusory Ambush is really fun, dude. Because it's like from 1200 range, get your clones to all leap around and jump in and do their days and whatnot. So I think that's really kind of fun. Now, here's another thing I think you're going to hate to hear.
I'm ready to not like you anymore.
Infinite Horizon instead of Elusive Mind.
Infinite Horizon instead of Elusive Mind.
You are not tanky or sustainy at all because you do not have the condition cleanse.
That's why I said that you... Well, first of all, you have Null Field.
A bit of regeneration.
Second of all, you have Jaunt.
Null Field is non-negotiable. It's not. There's no point.
You're
making this big like domino sacrifice down the chain just to justify the Null Field at the top. I promise you. I mean, there's a reason people run an Elusive Mind. It's not for the stun break. It's for the Condi cleanse. It's really powerful.
Jaunt,
really important.
You have Null Field. You have.
It's not
you have your
enough.
Torches.
You
and
do
then,
have
like
torches.
I said. In PvP, when you don't want to use... actually, in PvP, I don't even use Signet of Midnight, like I said. I use the Condi Cleanse mantra.
Yeah, and the Condi Cleanse... I don't even... That, to me, is just not the same planet as me. There's no way I'd run that. I'd just take...
I know, that's because you don't have the mind of a master builder.
But when... I understand why it's so horrible to hear, though, because without Infinite Horizon, the whole thing's like a lot more boring, you know? And it basically just does become quite meta.
I mean, Elusive Mind, yeah, of course you don't take it for the stun break, because if you get stunned, you could still dodge anyway. I think that's probably something they're going to have to nerf.
Yeah. I also think, by the way, the prevalence of Condis at the moment is there's a lot of spike Condi going on. So renewing Oasis does reduce the duration. But the truth is you're going to get jumped by other Mirages. One's running axes, and they're going to put a billion Condis on you in a second. And the reduction is not as valuable as you'd expect.
With the Mantra Resolve in the Null Field, other Condi Mirages are my least...
Oh, I'm sure you can invest...
They're the least scary things I fight.
I'm sure you can invest super heavily into that stuff to counter that one thing, but then I think you've lost all the other worthwhile utility.
Yes, that is the problem. You do lose the portal, and you lose the blink, and that is an issue.
Yeah, but Riddle of Sand's really good for this playstyle as well, is basically what I'm trying to say. Renewing Oasis isn't like the be-all and end-all. That's all I'm trying to say, that you can kind of swap some other stuff there. If you like. I think, though, you got Chaos. So then there's Chaotic Interruption in Chaos. So I think you're 100% on Chaos, but... Bountiful Disillusionment is so strong. It's so strong.
It is. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
So
and it's a real shame because I love the idea.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody that wants to run Bountiful Disillusionment not to. You could go ahead.
But you were right earlier, right? All these things I'm saying, oh, this is better, this is better, this is better. Everything I'm suggesting if the devs have any credibility.
Into the meta build.
Yeah, no, but if the devs have any credibility, everything I'm suggesting you do should be on the chopping block to be nerfed in the future. So it's just like you said earlier, if you run Boots' version, it might not be touched. Because
my version of it is pretty strong still, and it might be nerf-proof. Hopefully nerf-proof.
And then lastly, I don't know because I haven't seen the footage, and it always comes down to this on Boots Bad Builds, and the people in the comments and the viewers will be able to tell from the footage. I do not have much faith in the runes. The thing that holds it all together.
Well, you would be wrong then.
I don't know even how good that barrier is going to be, even when you make a compromise on your amulet to put healing power on there. I don't even know whether that's actually that valuable. My gut says no, but I don't know. So people can say down below.
I mean, my gut also says no, but I still do it.
No, your gut can't say no. That's the entire build. But so people can see, and there you go. That's what I have to say on this build.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you're right. What Boots said at the start is that it's like really strong. Even everything Boots said, even though there's other things you can do that make it better, in my opinion, in my estimation, it's still obscenely powerful. If Boots is sitting here saying, "Oh, this is really strong. It can do that," he's right. It is really strong. It can do this, that, and the other thing because it's Mirage. Guys, it's Mirage post that big Mesmer revamp, and that's the reality of Guild Wars 2 right now. So you know you can have fun with it. It's a good build.
Yeah. So I guess the final thing is the core of the build is leaping in fields to get the barrier and doing the chaos stuff. And then do whatever you want after that. If something gets nerfed, move away from it and do something else.
Sorry, though, wasn't there a scrapper support thing that was like the potency increased as long as you had barrier or something? Wasn't there a thing like that?
Yeah. The only problem is there's only one leap finisher for Scrapper, and it's the hammer.
Oh,
free.
no. I thought it was like the Scrapper can support you better if you have barrier on you. I thought it was something like that.
No, it's
In which case you could get high value.
Yeah, it's if it has barrier, it's like a reduced damage to it, basically.
Oh, all right. Ignore that then. Yeah, I thought it was going to be something else. But yeah, that's it. That's what I was
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I mean, frankly, you have said everything that I thought you were going to say, and I was
the
prepared.
Leaping Mirage.
The Leaping Mirage. It's the Lemur build. I am a lemur. It's a lemur.
Oh yeah, you are a lemur. Do you want to see my monkey? Do you want to see my?
Oh wait a second. That's going to come out wrong in this video.
Wait, why? What do you mean?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What do you mean? What? Did you say something terrible?
You just said, do you want to see my monkey?
Oh, yeah? You want to see my monkey? I got my monkey for you. Boots. Come and see my monkey. I'm ready. I've been concealing it up until this point, and now...
Where has it been?
Now I'm going to whip that out.
Okay.
Check him out.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That is a good monkey, isn't it? That's a good monkey.
It's a good monkey.